Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, we're down on the floor before the start of tonight's contest. My name is Larry Lindquist, Assistant Superintendent, and with me is Joe Winger, the Superintendent. Well, Joe, the gym is filling up quickly. Do you think we can expect a capacity crowd tonight?
I think we'll probably be turning them away at the doors and holding them back in about another half hour, Larry.
Both these teams have really experienced success this year, Mr. Winger. Whitehall finished the season with a 15-5 overall record. Montague at 18-2. We've both won coming into tonight's contest. What do you think will be happening here in just a few seconds, just a few minutes at game time? Do you expect a lot of action tonight?
I think we'll not only have a lot of action, I expect another close game. When Whitehall was here the last time, it went down to the last 7 seconds, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a last-second type of win this time.
I'm sure you're right, Mr. Winger. Could you just give us a little feeling? Well, here come the Wildcats. We probably aren't going to be heard over the crowd for a second, Mr. Winger. Just take a little time out here until the noise breaks down. Probably one of the keys to our success has been the hustle and the assertiveness on the floor. Can you comment about how you think that's developed over the last 2, 3, 4 seasons here?
Well, I think the big thing is that we know that Coach Tate has been able to teach all of these kids to play as a team. And I think that they manifest that every time they get out there because they work together on things. And even when he substitutes, they're doing the same things. They practice it all the time, and I think it shows up in the game plan.
Of course, we know the Vikings from Whitehall come into tonight's contest just as fired up as we are, and they too have had a successful season under Coach Kim Griffin.
They've done an excellent job. I've seen them a couple of times. I think they were a little flat the first time that we played them in Whitehall, but I expect them to come out here tonight. They've had a good end of their season. They're confident, and I think this is up for grabs.
Okay, Mr. Winger, I have one last question here. This is District 83 Michigan High School Athletic Association tournament action, and we're proud to be hosting that here. Can you just comment a little bit about what it means to Montague basketball to be the host of this tournament?
We're extremely pleased to be able to be the host for the tournament, and I think it's an excellent offering this year. You've got 4 squads that did well this year competing here. We've got 2 teams that have come in that we think added a great deal of luster to this program. We're really pleased that it's here, and we think that the spirit is evidenced by the time that people started arriving tonight. They're here at quarter minute till 6, and every minute thereafter we saw more coming in. So we're going to be filled up here well in advance of the start of this game. I think that manifests why we like to have the tournament. It's great.
Absolutely correct. I just want to make one closing remark. Most of this tournament action has been put together by high school principal, interim athletic director Lee Andrews, and of course high school principal Roger Finland. And we really appreciate the efforts that Mr. Finland and Mr. Andrews have put together to bring off a successful tournament. It's not an easy task, Joe, and Roger has done a really nice job.
Yeah, and I have to add to that the comments of the coaches and the officials from other schools add to that. They've been very pleased with the way that this has been received and when we've hosted in the past. And I know that a great deal of that goes to Roger's planning for these kinds of tournaments. Just been excellent.
Okay, well, that's about it from courtside, folks. We're sure you're going to enjoy tonight's game. We'll be right back for the start of Wildcat Viking action. Welcome to Montague High School for exciting Michigan High School Athletic Association District 3 tournament action. My name is Larry Lindquist, and on my right, high school principal of Whitehall, Mr. Dennis Love. And on my left, middle school teacher, coach, Mr. Jeff Peterson, who's been in the booth with us both tonight and other times as well. Welcome to both of you, gentlemen. We're glad you're aboard.
Thank you.
Tonight should be just terrific action. You can feel the intensity in the air, gentlemen, already, and the game hasn't started yet. Whitehall finished the regular season at 15-5, Montague at 18-2. Intense rivalry anytime these two clubs get together, but with those kind of successful seasons, we can expect real action here tonight. What do you think, Dennis? What will be the key?
Well, I tell you, if anybody can hear me right now with the crowd that you can hear, I think the key is the same as it was the last game, really. I think Whitehall has to be ready to be able to break Montague's press, and I think we've got to stay with Montague early. We can't let them get out to a big lead. And again, I think the key, too, is the type of game that a Jay Van Ross has. And also what's going to be real important is Jason Cassette. He's coming back after an injury that kept him out for 2 games. We've got to have his contribution along with the rest of the team. And, of course, the consistent performance that we've gotten out of Carl Wade all year.
Well, you've come a long way this year, Dennis. After you've lost the game to us at our court, I think you finished the season with 5 straight victories. Is that correct?
Right. We are probably playing our best ball of the season right now as far as consistency is concerned and as far as the total team play. So really, with this part of the season, this is when we want to peak with the new season starting, and hopefully that'll be the case tonight, Larry.
Well, let's turn to Jeff Peterson for a second here. Jeff, we're 18-2, but in all honesty, the last part of the season probably wasn't quite as excellent in terms of the play of the Wildcats as the mid part. Is that going to be a factor tonight, do you think?
Well, I don't really think it's going to be a factor tonight. I think towards the tail end of the season, we wrapped up the conference championship, and maybe we just laid back a little bit. We didn't have everything to shoot for. This is a whole new ball game. Whole new season right now, and of course we know what the Whitehall Vikings can do, and the last game they came over and just gave us a whale of a ball game, and I look for a lot of the same tonight. In fact, I would say it again, it's going to be a defensive struggle, and then just like the last time, it's going to be a matter of a spurt at the end if the teams stay close, and whoever gets that spurt is going to come out victorious.
Okay, well, we'll be ready for action in just a minute. We'll move down to courtside now for pregame festivities, as we have only about 10 seconds left before the buzzer on the court. Both teams finishing the warm-ups. We have 5 seniors on the Montague squad, Jeff. And how many do you have, Dennis, on your squad, do you know?
I think we've got 7 seniors who will be out there this evening from time to time.
So. 7 seniors and 12 seniors playing possibly their last game. Obviously, none of them want it to be. Michigan High School Athletic Association is proud of the tournament action that they sponsor throughout the state, of course. This tournament, however, District 83 is among the most difficult tournaments in the area, I would say, as the districts conclude in the next couple of days. Miss Tara Gray, excuse me. Tara Gray with an excellent rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner. Introduction of the players on the floor. Dennis Love will give the introductions for the Vikings, and Jeff Peterson for the Wildcats.
Okay, Xavier is a 5'10 junior. Xavier doing a real fine job for us, averaging about 5 points a game. Starting at the other guard for the Vikings, Carl Wade, the most consistent player on the team, averaging about 17 a game. averaging 19 points, also 10 rebounds a game. Real strong force, been playing real good ball for us lately. Carter Heitzman, a real consistent player, one of those that doesn't really show up on the box score that much, but does a fine, consistent job.
Senior, unforward spot for the Wildcats, number 32, Ryan England.
The other forward, we got Jason Cassette coming back from an injury, averaging about 10 points a game and 10 rebounds.
Well, there you have it, folks, the starting lineups for both the Whitehall Vikings and the Montague Wildcats. Well, as you said before, the intensity is here as the Wildcats spirit flag goes by us. I'm sure, Dennis, that the Vikings remember the last few seconds of the last contest that you broadcast from Montague.
They certainly do, and that's, if they didn't, Coach Griffin has been reminding them of that in the last few days here. But, yeah, see, and the thing of it is now, it's, as they say, when it gets March Madness, it's a new season, and hopefully they're going to be ready to play ball tonight against the fine Montague team.
Well, there has to be a lot of jitters on the floor right now. We have a capacity crowd, as was anticipated. All the pre-sale tickets sold out, and I'm sure that all the tickets available at the door went very quickly, as we have chairs on the cafeteria end, chairs on the stage end, and both sides of the stands packed in. So I'm sure we're looking for lots of action as Schlaff gets ready to jump the ball with J. Van Ross. District 83 semifinal action underway, and it's the Vikings who maintain possession first and call for the turnover. Caroline. Vikings look like they're going to put a little pressure on. Now they back up. Eric Webb, as usual, at the point guard position. It's Carl Wade. There's Cotter inside. Nice move by Cotter. 2 points for the Wildcats. That's a real key, I think, Jeff, that we get off to a good start.
Well, I think it's a real key to both to get off a good start. The Vikings have had a history of not getting off to that good start, and it's costing them, especially the first game. We're looking for that both ways. But the Vikings, as I said, that's hurt them. The Wildcats, later in the season, they've had problems getting off to a quick start, and then we haven't played that well because, as you mentioned earlier.
Well, Schlaff has the ball down on the right baseline, going to be called for carrying the ball. First turnover for the Wildcats. Dennis, go ahead.
Yeah, both teams just a little nervous at this time. Vikings with a couple turnovers, and then with the Wildcats there with a turnover. But I'm sure they'll settle down and play some good ball here.
Who can blame them? Right. A bit nervous. Excellent steal by Webb. Schlaff off too hard, and J. Van Ross with the rebound. Cassette off the side. Eric Webb up, no good. Cassette, another rebound for the Vikings. Carl Wade now, a real steady player for you, real nice young man too.
Yes, he is. He's a fantastic leader both on and off the court.
Carl Wade working against Webb. 3-point attempt from the outside, off the rim, no good.
I think a big key here tonight, too, is how many second chance opportunities either team's going to get. I think it's going to be, as I said, real tough defense, and the first opportunities I don't think are going to drop as often as we'd like to see on either side.
Cotter from Lindquist, good! Montague 4, Vikings 0, 6:22 remaining in the first quarter.
Right now it seems that Montague is able to get the ball inside, and we're going to have to make an adjustment there.
I noticed last time down the court, you got the ball into J-Van. He was called for the travel, but we had to double team J-Van. Schlaff slinking on the inside and Cotter fronting him, of course. Going to be a foul call on the play as the ball went to the paint area. Foul was on Doug Schlaff, number 34, his first. Montague ball, Wildcats on the defense as Whitehall puts it in play from the side. 4-0 Montague. Carl Wade, Carter Heitzman looking underneath for Xavier, cutting across the paint. Jason Cassette, no good, and the ball comes off to 54. Matt Cotter, Eric Webb Nice inside pass. Basket by Anglo. Good teamwork out there, Jeff. Real nice teamwork.
That's what they have to do. They have to give up that ball to get it back a lot of times. And just got to keep passing that ball, and the person's going to come open sooner or later. There's another
nice pass by J-Man to number 20, Xavier Wade, who gets the first Viking basket. Well, you're off the ground now. Steal by the Vikings. Lindquist going to be called for the personal. Kyle Wade will go to the charity stripe.
Carl did a nice job of going to the bucket there, and that's what he has to do, is to try to penetrate. Another thing that I noticed that last time down the court is that Whitehall has got to get back on defense. There was a situation that we just got out-hustled on at the other end.
Well, likewise, you got an easy basket on us, too, because we didn't get back quite in time for that first basket by Xavier.
Of course, I think it's a big key for the Vikings that got down 6-zip. You're on the, actually the home team's court. You got to get back in, and you can't let things get out of hand real quick.
That's exactly right, Jeff.
What they did.
Good was the first from the line, and the second also goes through the hoop. Pressure defense on the part of the Vikings. Webb coming up against that pressure. Back to Schlaff. Cross the line, down to Lindquist. Lindquist back to Schlaff. Schlaff into Englund. Englund has the ball blocked by Carter Heitzman. Nice move that time by Carter.
Carter did a nice job from behind to strip him, and that's the type of a player that Carter is. He doesn't show up in that box score, but he does some very positive things for this team.
Nice inside pass. The ball rolls over the rim, but the Vikings had an excellent opportunity that time, and Kyle Wade sets it up again outside. Xavier Wade back to Carl Brothers.
Right.
Spin move by Kyle Wade, knocked away by Eric Webb. Inside, Lindquist going to be called for his second personal as the ball went into J. Van Ross.
That's the key for us tonight, really. I think we have to get the ball into Jay, but not force it in when it's not there. Still looking for other options. But if Jay is there, we've got to get the ball into him.
Well, Jay's leading the league in scoring in terms of the regular season. 19 points, as you said, per game, and obviously that's a key to your success, Dennis.
Correct. He and Carl have definitely been the scoring combination, although there have been other players from time to time who'd filled in.
Two of the best bench players in the league come into the contest. Tate and Schneider for the Wildcats. Cassette from 14, no good. It bounces back to Cassette, who now drives the baseline up, over the top. Kind of a rebound, and you're a little cold on the baskets there, Dennis.
Right, we're certainly getting our second and third chances. We've got to take advantage of them.
Schlaff, no good. Knocked away by the Vikings, but possession retained. Down court to Carter Heitzman, across to J-Van. Basket is no good, but he's fouled on the way up by Mark Schneider, I believe. It's either Schneider or Cotter, I'm not sure, Jeff.
I think it's Schneider. No, you're right, it's Cotter.
First foul on Cotter.
There was a matter of Carter, I think, being a little bit too unselfish. I think he had probably the better shot, but passed it off to Jay, and the foul was called on him. But I think Carter may have had a layup that he passed up there.
J-Van can't find a bucket on that attempt.
One thing so far I recognize that the Vikings are getting second, third opportunities at that shot. They haven't dropped them in right now, but they're getting those, and sooner or later, if you allow a team to do that, they're going to start putting them in the hole. And the Wildcats, on the other hand, are getting one shot and one shot only. Right. And again, if you live by that one shot, you better be shooting an awful high percentage. And right now,
right you are. Down to Cotter, paint move. Up good. Really strong inside move by Cotter. Jason Cassette. We mentioned before that Jason handles the ball nicely for a big man, and they have a lot of confidence in that. Kyle Wade off the glass, good. 1 point difference again, 8-7 Montague with 3:25 remaining in the first quarter. Tate across the timeline. Tate trying to get the pass ahead to Schneider. Can't find his man, and Cassette puts it in play.
Right now the Vikings are doing a nice job of putting the pressure on, and and basically playing a Montague type of philosophy of good pressure here, and it's paying off right now.
Charles Ross with the ball. Ross and Longcore, we ought to also mention, are two excellent bench players. Dennis.
Yes, they are. Russ is, Longcore is another one who's coming off an injury, has not played much, and Charles Ross has really sparked us the last part of this season.
Longcore controlled that deflection, and now it's down to Cassette, ahead to J-Van. Potter with the second personal of the night. Well, the Wildcats lead 8-7, Jeff, but they're having some difficulty controlling the Vikings underneath.
Not only that, but they're getting themselves in foul trouble. I believe that's a second on Matt, and we've also got 2 on Scott at this point. And the Vikings are with 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the first quarter. They're already into 1-1.
Good observation. That's a real critical point. If you're a Wildcat fan, you don't want to give the Vikings an extra shot from the charity line, obviously, and they're going to get several of them. That was a 2-shot foul, even though Doug Schlaff got the rebound.
I think they're questioning right now whether that should have been a 1-1 or a 2-shot foul.
And the referee is indicating he was fouled in the act of shooting. J-Van with another attempt. Good. 1 of 2, ties it 8 all with 2:48 remaining. Webb all the way to the basket. Up. Good. Foul is on number 50. J-Van Ross, his first personal. I believe that's Vikings' first team foul as well, Dennis.
Yes, it is. Yes, Eric did a real nice job of taking that ball to the hole and challenging Jay, who probably has about 4 or 5 inches on him, did a nice job.
I think that's what you call taking things into your own hands.
I think you're right. And he makes it a 3-point play to put the Vikings down by 3, 11-8. Charles Ross all the way to the bucket. Blocked nicely by Eric Webb. Picked up by Brad Tate. Schneider now with the ball. 2:31 remaining, and Cassette knocks it away. Both teams playing excellent defense, Dennis.
This is the type of game we figured we would see. Both teams really going at it.
2:29 in the first quarter, 11-8 Montague. Lindquist and Englund come back in for Webb and Cotter.
And Matt DeRose is checking in for the Vikings to give Jason Cassette a break here. Matt's another one who has really come through, especially with the injury to Jason Cassette, just really improved each game.
Foul on the Vikings, number 10. Charles Ross.
Going in, but they're not going to get that one.
No. After the whistle.
All before that.
Second team foul. Wildcats put it into play underneath their own basket. Lindquist looking out to Schneider. Tate. Back to Schneider. Wildcats having to put a little offense together here now. Good defense by the Vikings. Nice tight man-to-man. Tate short from the sideline. And the Vikings Cassette comes away with it. Kyle Wade. Guarded by Lindquist. Kyle Wade up with a shot. Good! Excellent move by Kyle Wade.
Nice screen set by Charles Ross to free Carl up for that shot, too.
Schaff off the glass a little hard, and Cassette comes down. No, that's DeRose.
That's Matt DeRose, right. He's gotten a couple nice rebounds for us here in the last few seconds.
Nice dish that time by Kyle Wade to Charles Ross, and it goes off the rim to the Wildcats. Webb and Xavier Wade. Wade back in for the Vikings. 11-10, Montague with 1:39 remaining in the first quarter.
Vikings are continuing to put the full court pressure on.
Well, this is certainly a lot different than the first time the Wildcats played the Vikings this season. Lindquist went up for the shot, but he's fouled in the process, so he'll find himself at the free throw line, I believe, as Longcore picks up his first personal. A lot of the teams that the Wildcats have found themselves playing against don't have as good a depth as you do, Dennis, and I think that's a real key in this contest. Both teams have good strength on the bench.
Right. We do have, we can go 8 or 9 deep and pretty strong there, and that's true. That's where we match up, I think, with the Wildcats. both teams have pretty good benches.
Lindquist with 2 from the line makes it 13-10. Vikings bringing it up. Kyle Wade, Matt DeRose. DeRose again with the ball. Good movement now by the Vikings. Kyle Wade, Longcore from three-point land, way downtown. DeRose inside.
That's a
Ross.
nice tip by J. Van Ross.
Lindquist from Schneider. Oh, inside pass. Schneider from the right baseline. Off the rim. And you commented about this early, Jeff. We're only getting one shot at the offensive end.
Well, and the Vikings are doing an excellent job of getting the ball out and getting right up the court quick before we can set up. And that's getting them some fairly easy baskets.
Ball's locked away by Kyle Wade from Schlaff, and it goes to Wade. Up, no good. Lindquist can't control. J. Van Ross, good! Puts the Vikings up by 14-13 with 27 seconds left. Your first lead of the night, Dennis.
Yes, it comes at a nice time, but it's just good aggressiveness right now. And that's the type of game we need to play all the way through.
Eric Webb over to Lindquist, looking inside to Schlaff. Schlaff from 14 back to Anglem. Up, good! 5 seconds left in the quarter. 15-14. Nice move that time by Wade to get the open shot, but it falls just a little short. Well, you can't play much better quarter than that in terms of evenness of competition. Both teams doing well on the defensive end. Both teams having a little difficulty at the basket.
Well, exactly. I think both teams came out fired up. And a lot of times you do that, your offensive game suffers, but your defensive game is something you can keep at a certain level, and that's what's done. I do think that, as I said earlier, that the Wildcats are getting Vikings are getting second and third opportunities, limiting the Wildcats to 1, and also they're getting that ball out quick up the court, and they're making the best of their opportunities. And the last basket, or not the last one, but the one before that, nobody blocked Jay Van off the basket, and boy, he can't do that. He's such an offensive player on that boards.
Right. But even though, Jeff, with the idea that we got the second and third shots, still not able to convert, those are advantages we've got to take, because sometime or another, of course, the Wildcats, they're going to get those second and third chances too. So I think after that first quarter, it was about what we expected, a good, close game, real aggressive, and I'm sure that's going to be the case the next 3 quarters here.
Dennis, I'd like to comment just briefly here. We saw Longcore take 2 of those 3-pointers, and fans should know that he's the 6th leading 3-point shooter in the league as the statistics were composed for the final time this season. Shooting 40.7% from 3-point land. Eric Webb looking inside, back out now to Anglem. Anglem working.
Up here, Doug Schlaff. Xavier Wade on him.
Schlaff with a height advantage, but Xavier's quite a hustler. Lindquist can't get it into Cotter, and we're going to have a blocking foul, I believe, called on Carter Heitzman.
Yeah, Carter got the body on him as he was trying to go to the bucket there. I think that's the first foul on Carter.
First personal is correct, and it's the 4th team foul, so now both teams will be in the 1-and-bonus situation for the final 7:35 of the half.
One thing that the Vikings, I think, are doing an excellent job. Anytime Doug Schlaff touches the ball, they've got everybody coming at him and really covering him up.
Anglem with his 4th point of the night.
And that's exactly what the Wildcats have to get. Somebody else putting that ball up there to open Doug up a little bit and hopefully getting him open to get some baskets like he's done all year.
Well, Anglem has made a really nice effort this season for the Wildcats. Nice 2-point basket by Kyle Wade. Anglem is averaging in double figures for the last 3-4 games. Shot by Cotter is blocked, but fouled on the play as well. J-Van.
I think J-Van didn't realize it, but if he would have just gone straight up there, he had Cotter in some trouble, but decided to come down on him, which of course is a foul, and that's the second one, I think, on Jay.
I think that's what you're going to see more of the Wildcats doing, going to the hole and hopefully getting the big guys for the Vikings to get into foul trouble.
Cotter, a 79% free throw shooter for the season, finds himself 6th in the league in that category. 79% of the time he's put the ball through the hoop. And we're going to have a violation, I believe, as Xavier Wade, I think Dennis might have been in the lane too quickly that time.
Stepped in a little too early.
Tyler, we'll get one more chance.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Jason Cassette coming back in for Matt DeRose, who did a real good job in there.
18-16 Wildcats. Up by 3 now, 19-16, 7:04 in the second quarter. Montague pressure defense and had a couple deflections, and now another deflection, this time down the court.
Jason had Jay Van open deep, but he telegraphed it. He looked right where he was going to go with it, and of course Montague did a good job of batting it away.
Carter Heitzman working against Anglem. Xavier Wade, Kyle Wade from the corner. Short this time, and Anglem comes away with it. Head to Lindquist. Lindquist driving the basket, can't find his way in. Pulls it back out. Eric Webb with a beautiful drive. Nice head fake that time and a nice move.
Not only that, Eric's quickness gets him so many of those type things. You don't see a lot of kids at the Class C level with that type of quickness that he has. I mean,
We have a
fun to watch when
He is indeed. We have a franchise in the area called Mr. Quick. But if it was Mr. Quick on the court tonight, when that play at least, it was Eric Webb.
That's for sure.
Carter Heitzman now looking inside. Webb turns around and gets the offensive foul call on him. Eric Webb planted himself.
Right, Eric did a nice job of getting himself planted. I don't think Kyle realized where Eric was and thought he made the right pivot and right into Eric, no doubt a charge.
Well, the Wildcats find themselves up by 5 with 6:04 in the first half, 21-16. Webb over to Lindquist. Lindquist driving the baseline. Up, no good, off the front of the rim. Kyle Wade, nice move now to the baseline, and a foul going to be called on Doug Schlaff as Wade went up for the 10-footer.
That was just a little miscommunication, looked like, out there, and Carl Wade took advantage of it. A smart play by smart ball player.
Exactly right. It looked like a little miscommunication on a switch there, and just gave Kyle that split second that he needed, and then Doug trying to pick him up, got a piece of him.
Well, Wade averaging about 17 points per contest, adds to his total in this contest with, I think he's had 6 tonight so far, hasn't he, Dennis?
I think so, yes. I think he's had 6.
Wade with one more attempt. This one is good. 21-17. Schlaff looking forward, goes inside to Schneider, but is fouled. You mentioned a while ago, everybody's all over Schlaff, and Cassette, Heitzman, and Wade were all on Schlaff that time, Jeff, as he tried to go forward.
Right.
Carl Wade picks up his second personal.
With that, he's going to take a little breather here. Coach Griffin does not want to get him into foul trouble here early in the game, and certainly wants to have him for that fourth quarter rush.
Right. We got Charles Ross and Russ Longcore coming in for Carter Heitzman and Carl right now at this time.
Schlaff good from the line. Schlaff an 83% shooter from the free throw stripe, 4th in the league for this year. J-Van with another rebound, and Xavier Wade brings it up. Charles Ross to the inside, drops it. J-Van off the glass, nice move that time. Good sight by Charles Ross,
yes,
as he drove the center.
Charles has been doing a nice job of that in the last few games.
Well, an awful smart play, too, because neither of the Wildcats that were back could really challenge it as they both had 2 fouls.
Nice rebound by Mark Schneider. Can't quite get it to go, but is fouled. J-Van Ross leading the league in scoring, of course, at 19 points per contest. Doug Schlaff going out is 2nd in the league in scoring with 17 points per game.
I think that foul was on Russ Longcore. That's his 2nd.
Schneider, the 8th leading shooter from the line in the league.
But that's certainly something that if the Vikings do put us at the line, we have a lot of good shooters, and we certainly like to take advantage of that.
Well, we have 4 of the top 10 in the league this year, and 2 of those top 10 have missed one of 2 of the last couple of times here. Nice move by Charles Ross. Excellent hustle that time.
Charles did a real nice job, and as I said, he's just really come on when we needed him these last part of the season. Real pleasant surprise.
Jason Cassette with a nice steal, spin move, inside. J. Van Ross, excellent position, ties the game once again. Just a minute ago, the Wildcats found themselves up by 5. Now it's a tie game. We have a whistle way back down court, I think, being called by the trailing official. And foul, I think, is going to be on the Wildcats.
Eric Webb lost control and trying to get the ball. And
that's his first personal. Cassette at the line. We remember watching him as a sophomore on the varsity, and he's really come a long ways, Denny.
Yes, Jason is a real fine ball player, real consistent, does a nice job, gets double figures close to it both in rebounding and in the points. Jay Van Ross is going to get a rest here, which he definitely needs, so we've got Matt DeRose coming back in for him.
Real strong point Matt DeRose is. He's coming back again next season, of course, and boy, that could be a big, important reason for your continued success, Dennis.
Right. Matt is just a sophomore, and he is just developing more and more with each game.
Lindquist over to Tate, inside to Cotter, and there's a reach-in foul called. Both officials called that one. I guess it must have been pretty clear, Jeff.
I think Matt DeRose just got a bit too much of Matt Cotter.
It's his first personal. Cotter will find himself at the line once again. We don't have the stats here, but I would guess that the fouls are pretty even tonight, Dennis.
I think so, Larry. I think at the beginning of the game, of course, the Vikings were in a 1-1 awful early, and then all of a sudden, I think the Vikings decided they'd catch up with the Wildcats. So I think at this point in the first half that they've got to be awful close. I think the officials are doing a real fine job. It's one of those games, again, very aggressive, and a tough game to call.
Well, there's a lot of pressure on the players, but there's also pressure on those officials. You know that from having been an official. Still are, perhaps, at least in football I know you are, and there's always pressure on the officials, too.
Well, there is. But this is the kind of game they want. This is a game that's going to keep you right into the big things, the whole ball game, and, this is the kind of game you hope you're going to get during the course of the season.
Well, Jason Cassette brings it up and leaves it for Xavier Wade. Charles Ross once again. Doug Schlaff, a nice inside position, brings that one down ahead to Cotter. 25-23 Wildcats. 4:09 remaining. Inside to Schlaff. Schlaff against Xavier Wade. Over the top. Jason Cassette comes away with it. Knocked away by Lindquist, but he's going to be called for the foul as that's his third personal of the evening. Going to put Cassette at the line.
Larry, one thing I've noticed, and I think, Jeff, you mentioned it too, that they're really getting a mismatch underneath with Xavier Wade on Doug Schlaff, and they're getting the ball into Doug, but Xavier is doing a real fine job right now, considering the difference in the size.
Well, he's using his quickness, and I think they're also bringing some help from the weak side and just doubling up on him. And they're doing an excellent job on Doug when he's throwing his game off.
Jason pulls the Vikings within one. He's unable to tie it, but Schneider gets the rebound, and I think DeRose is going to pick up his second personal.
Yeah, Matt got a little bit too aggressive on that one. Right now, I don't know for sure what the situation is with free throws, but I think that's the difference right now. We're having a rough time. We as in Whitehall. In Montague, you've have been putting those free throws down.
Well, we always comment about the fact that perhaps the fancy drive off the baseline or that three-point shot looks a little more glorious to the fans, but that kind of shot we just saw there is very critical in any contest.
Anytime you can knock two of those down, they count just as much as that layup where you drive in and twist in the basket or you hit one from the baseline.
Exactly
so
right.
They count just as much and just as important.
Wildcats by 3, 27-24. Charles Ross, good movement, but Schlaff intercepts his pass, brings it back for the Wildcats. Schneider from outside. Tate from just inside 3, off the side. The Wildcats are cold from field goal.
It was a nice break by Whitehall that time. We may have gotten away with a little travel there, I'm not sure, but the guys filled the lanes and did a nice job.
Well, it was an excellent play. Wildcats missed that shot underneath by Anglem. Carl Wade comes back for the Vikings. Cassette up. Foul by Tate from behind, I believe. And Jeff, this could get to be a real key here. Lindquist is on the bench now with his third personal. I think that's Brad Tate's third. No, it's his first, I'm sorry. I thought he had one before, obviously not, but Schloff has two.
I think you have some other players you can rotate in the guard slot, but I think Scott probably has seen his last play this half for fear of getting that fourth foul at this time of the game. But again, there's a key that really hurts the Vikings. They just have to drop those in, and I'm sure Jason Cassette's a much better player than that, and a shooter than that. He certainly is having a nice ball game tonight.
Maybe that's a factor of the pressure we mentioned earlier. At any rate, the Wildcats come away with it. Montague timeout with 3:02 remaining. Well, fans, I think we're going to take a little break from booth action tonight with 3:02 remaining in the first half and go down on court to take a look at some fan reaction to tonight's contest. We interviewed several people on the floor before the game, one of which was Mr. Dave DeRose. Dave.
Well, earlier tonight we had the perspective of a Montague fan, Steve Wisniewski. Tonight, or this time, I've got the perspective of somebody that's going to be rooting for Whitehall during the ball game, Mr. Dave DeRose, who has a son, Matt, that plays on the varsity. Matt, only a sophomore, but has done a good job all year. Dave, how does it feel to be at a game that you know your kid's going to perform in? How has it felt following the Vikings this year, and what do you expect out of this game tonight?
Well, Whitehall seems to be a team that's either up or down, and they were really down for the first game against Montague. The second game, I think it was a fired-up team on the Whitehall's part. I think maybe Montague was a little overconfident. I don't know. I'm hoping that three's the charm. That's a real hope. A lot of the fans I know are hoping for the same thing, but I'm sure it'll be a real exciting game.
Well, I agree with you, and it's always a good rivalry, and what I'm most impressed with, Dave, is it's always a healthy rivalry between these two schools, and you, in a way, have helped do that because you were part of the White Lake Youth Basketball Program where these kids played together. Do you think that has any bearing on the friendliness of the two schools?
Well, I think that times have changed, first of all. I know that if you look at the game being played, Whitehall and Montague kids are talking to each other on the court. Both in basketball, you'll see the same thing in football, and I'm sure baseball and track the same thing. You know, a lot of these fellas, the cheerleaders as well, you know, they may be going with each other. It's one of those deals where, you know, even though they're at a different school, they're still in the same area. You know, and I think that's great. And I think because it's the 80s and the 90s, I don't think that would have maybe happened so much in the 60s and maybe the 70s.
Well, I'm really proud, and I know Dennis Love, the principal of Whitehall, feels the same way I do. It's just nice to have a healthy rivalry and having the kids get along with one another and the fans. And win or lose, it doesn't matter. It's really how you play the game. So, Dave, thanks for being with me, and good luck to you tonight.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it, perspective of a royal, loyal, rabid Viking fan.
All right, Larry, you hit it in all three cases.
Well, he should be. He's got two great kids playing in this program, and they're a credit to the Whitehall School and the Whitehall community.
Eric Webb with a baseline move. Up, off the glass, over the top. Saved by Mark Schneider, who goes to the paint. Up, rolls it in. Nice touch by Mark Schneider. Puts the Cats up by 3 again, 29-26. Xavier Wade ahead to brother Kyle. Kyle, the fourth leading scorer in the league, 16.9 points per game. Foul away from the ball. Jason Cassette underneath against Anglem, and I didn't see that one, gentlemen.
I didn't either. I think Jason may have been working for some position, and the official saw him just getting a little bit too physical there.
Anglem at the line. Well, the fans are getting their money's worth, gentlemen.
Fine ball game tonight, which again, as I've said many times, this is what we expected, and this is what high school tournament ball is all about.
Carter with the offensive rebound off the board. Schlaff battling for it, comes away to Carl Wade. Well, there's an example of the Wildcats having the same trouble, Jeff.
That's right.
Carl Wade toward the baseline, back out to Carter Heitzman. Xavier Wade looking inside. Wildcats doing a nice job on Jay Van Ross underneath. Heitzman from outside, Schlaff for the rebound. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Englum from the outside, over the top. Carter Heitzman.
Wildcats weren't very patient. I was just going to say that they would just take some time off and make sure they get a good shot at the basket, and they didn't do those things. They're lucky that the Vikings didn't come back and kick some ground up on them.
In turn, the Vikings did basically the same thing, though.
Exactly.
Just they were not patient that time and tried to settle for a three-pointer.
One thing I note, however, is the fact that the Wildcats are beginning to get a few offensive boards. Nice strike by Doug Schlaff. 31-26 Wildcats.
You know, that's what Doug Schlaff has to do if he's going to get 2 and 3 people coming at him like he did that. He's got to look and find that open people, and people got to quit standing and watching Doug and break to the basket.
Real good observation. Somebody has to be open, and that case was no exception. But if you're a Viking, you have to be alert to Doug Schlaff wherever he is. Nice drop that time to Carter Heitzman. Goes out of bounds. It'll be Viking ball underneath their own basket.
Yeah, Jay did a nice job of finding Carter, but Carter just could not convert on it.
Well, Coach Tate taking Doug Schlaff out of the game with 53 seconds left. Probably a wise move, Jeff. He has 2 personals, no sense risking that third personal. Up by 5, 53 seconds in the half.
Certainly as a Wildcat booster, you wouldn't want to see the Vikings come back, but in the same token, if they were to come back and tie it up or even go ahead at this point, it wouldn't mean that much. You got a whole second half to play. You don't want to get somebody in foul trouble.
Exactly. Jason Cassette just made a nice baseline move and was fouled on the play, so hopefully he can settle down here and start making some of these key free throws for us. And I think Jason, knowing him, he's going to settle in here with these free throws, hopefully.
Well, now we notice that Schlaff is coming back in for Cotter, who just picked up his third personal, Jeff.
Yeah.
So Matt's
kind
going
of a trade-off, hoping that you can keep one out and not get that. And sometimes you don't quite get it to work your way.
Right you are. Jason Cassette hoping to improve his percentage from the line compared to the last time he was there. And he does. You can almost sense that one going in, Dennis.
Right. A lot of times free throws are so much the mental part of it that you get in a groove one way or the other, and what a difference it makes here.
Jason Cassette draws the Vikings within 3, 31-28. Schlaff ahead to Tate. Tate losing the ball. Cassette.
This is where Whitehall's got to be patient with the clock and everything else, get a good shot.
Well, with 27 seconds, they have lots of time to get that good shot, and they are being patient now this time, Dennis. Carl?
Yeah, the Vikings probably should just take as much time off as possible, not allow the Wildcats to get any shot at all, even if they do get a good shot.
Jason Cassette from the baseline, off the rim. DeRose, no good. DeRose, good!
Great job by Matt DeRose. Stayed with it, did a nice job on that.
That's the end of the first half, with Montague holding a 1-point lead, 31-30. Wow, gentlemen, I'm almost speechless. You couldn't ask for much better action than that. If you're a Viking fan, you're behind by 1, but my goodness, you couldn't really play much better in a situation like this either. 1 point is nothing. If you're a Wildcat fan, being up by 1 isn't very much of a confidence builder either, Jeff.
Well, I think, first of all, the Vikings got to be really happy where they are. They had some stretches where they were a little bit cold, and they had some trouble at the line, but they're down by 1, and it was really, I'm sure, really uplifting to be down by 5 with a little over a minute and a half to go, and to hang in there and whittle it down to 1, and Matt DeRose stuck right in there at the end, got a missed shot, stuck it up, didn't go, and was right there again for the stick back again. And as we talked about, it was 4 seconds. And so the Wildcats didn't have that opportunity to go ahead and shoot again.
Well, you know, if you get 3 attempts at it, chances are the way the Vikings shoot, they're going to go in. In the case, in that instance, there was an example of that very thing. I want to just switch gears here a minute, if you'll permit me to, Dennis, and just talk briefly about some other things that have happened in Wildcat country here this past week, and indeed some of it just today. So will you indulge me a few minutes?
I certainly will.
Okay. I want to just take time to remind the fans, this is being broadcast Friday night, of course, but tomorrow morning, Saturday morning at 10 a.m., our girls volleyball team will be competing in the regional tournament at Newaygo. 10 o'clock tomorrow morning at Newaygo High School. We enter regional competition. The Wildcat girls, of course, came away with that district championship last Saturday at Montague High School, having defeated the Vikings from Whitehall 15-9 and 15-10, I think were the scores. The Vikings were an excellent team in that competition. Holton, of course, was the first victim of the Wildcats. This is a very much improved Wildcat volleyball team, and we certainly wish them the best of luck tomorrow morning.
You know, Larry, I've got to just interject here. I think one of the neat things that I hear you saying is that Montague, Whitehall. Last year was Montague, Whitehall, and I like that. I like keeping things in the White Lake area. We got a lot of neat kids here. We got a lot of great fans here, and it's really great when these kids get the opportunities and see what the fans, how they back them up. But you know, in the conference race, it was Montague and Whitehall, and right now, and it's just great to see that type of action with these kids who are friends but also competitors.
Yeah. Excellent point, Jeff. And Dennis, you were here last Saturday for some of that volleyball action. What do you think about the Vikings' chances for next year, based on what you've seen so far this season in the volleyball program?
Well, there's no doubt that basically I think there are just 2 seniors on that squad, and we've got a real fine nucleus of juniors. And a good sophomore group who I think only lost 3 or 4 matches. The JVs did all year. So I think as far as the volleyball situation, it's definitely has to be looking as good, and I think actually better next year. And it's really the same in all the girls' sports. We have a very strong junior class and some good freshmen and sophomore girls too, that I just see the girls sports program in all areas being very strong at Whitehall here for the next 2 or 3 years at least.
Well, that bodes well for the White Lake area, because I too see the Wildcats coming back strong. Their junior varsity squad, like yours, had an excellent season, and we have some fine returning lettered gals too for our program. We've had a little difficulty over the past several years in the volleyball program, but Coach Mary Jackson has come on, building upon what was left for her. Some really good talent there, put a new program in place, and has taken 2 years but built the program to the point where we've now won 2 consecutive tournaments in which we've been entered, and that has to be a real confidence factor for tomorrow morning's action at Newaygo, and we certainly hope those gals come away with a victory. And even though you're a Viking fan, I would almost think that we probably have some Viking fans in the White Lake area that might wish the Wildcats good luck. You don't have to do that on the air, Dennis, but I think that we, as Jeff mentioned, we're kind of like a White Lake group here, and if we're not in the contest ourselves, we sometimes cheer for the team across the river.
Right, and that's something that, again, just being a newcomer to this area, that I've picked up very quickly. You know, tonight is a good example. Last Saturday was another one where when it comes to the competition itself, whether it be during the regular season or tournament time, you know, both teams really go at it. They're aggressive. But after the match or the game is over, there are a lot of very close friendships, and I think that's a matter of, yes, if one team doesn't make it, the other team is usually right there backing them, and I certainly do wish the Lady Wildcats the best of luck tomorrow morning. And they are a real fine volleyball team. Very impressed with them.
Okay, let's change gears here another time during the halftime break here. Today was also district festival time for bands in this region. Montague High School bands, Whitehall High School bands went to Grand Valley State today. And I'm sorry, Dennis, I have not heard how the Whitehall High School band did, but I know how the Montague High School bands did. They both received Division I ratings. And so we're really proud of our music program under the direction of Mr. Lee Andrews, Mrs. Jackie Wood, Mrs. Carol Brantois, have done a nice job putting our music program together for us. I know the kids were excited. My son happens to be in a band as well, and they returned only about 5 o'clock tonight with a 1 rating from Festival. and that was a good omen for us, I was hoping, as a Wildcat fan, of course. But we congratulate all the kids in the bands, and of course the directors as well. And do you happen to know how your band did?
The high school band actually performs tomorrow. I did not hear how the middle school band did today, but again, Mr. Vince Broen has taken over our band program throughout the system and has just done a fantastic job, and it's just going to continue to grow in both quality and quantity. This year we had about 35 members in our band. Next year it looks like there's going to be a projection of about 65 band members. We have new uniforms, and that program is just going to continue to improve, we're sure, for the next few years.
Well, that's good news if you're a Viking band booster, a music person. Mr. Vince Broen, is that what?
Yes.
I have not met the gentleman, but I've heard lots of good things about him, and certainly if your band has grown by 30 or more in 1 year, that's a good indication that he too is doing a good job. Just want to take another minute to mention to the fans that Mr. Lee Andrews has taken over at Montague High School as interim assistant principal athletic director. So we're not just sure what his involvement with the band will be the remaining part of the year, whether he will take his Division I Wildcat band to the the state festival or not. But in any case, we wish them well at district festival. Well, gentlemen, I think we'll take a short time out to give ourselves a little breather here before the start of the second half. We'll be right back with second half action. Welcome back to Montague High School fans, where tonight's score stands at 32 for the Wildcats, 31 for the Vikings at halftime. Gentlemen, I think one of the things we just take a minute to note here as we prepare for second half action is we've got a capacity crowd, probably close to 1,300 people. We see fans standing at both sides or both ends of the gym, and we've had excellent fans tonight. Sportsmanship has just been superior thus far in tonight's contest. I think that's exemplary, Dennis.
I think so too. Now again, of course, we're only at halftime, and I'm sure as we get down the stretch, the emotions run rampant sometime. But I think in any of the competition this year between the two White Lake schools, that the sportsmanship has been very commendable. And I know sometimes there might be an isolated situation or so, but yet when you take a look at the entire picture, and as you said, we're talking over 1,200 fans out here, that it's fantastic, and that's certainly a tribute to our community members, our parents, adults, the student body, everyone involved.
Well, I'd like to add at least two other people to that list that you just had, and that's yourself as high school principal of Whitehall High School and Roger Finland, principal at Montague High School. You gentlemen worked hard to make that happen. We appreciate your efforts on behalf of sportsmanship in the White Lake area. Well, teams are back on the court, but so are some fans, and so we're going to have a short delay here as we get everybody situated for the start of second half action. Jason Cassette waiting patiently along the sideline to put the ball into play. Official trying to hustle the fans back up into the bleachers.
Looks like we have both starting lineups back in, Larry and Jeff, to start the second half.
Yes, you're right. Cassette, Heitzman, Xavier, Carl Wade, and J. Van Ross, Lindquist, Anglum, Schwab, Webb, and Trotter. Wade, 32-31, remembers the score. Wildcats got the first two in the first half. Vikings hoping they get the first two in the second half.
Good patience so far by the Vikings, just making things happen.
J. Van has the ball knocked away from him by Eric Webb. Picked up by Connor, ahead to Webb, over the top of the rim.
That was an excellent defensive job on Carl Wade. Put a lot of pressure on him, and definitely wasn't as easy a shot as possible.
I'll tell you, two good defensive plays on either end by the players that are just hustling back and just making things happen, taking things into their own hands. Carl Wade and Eric Webb both.
Fans, I don't quite understand what has happened. I announced the score once before as 32-31. They've reposted it now at 31-30 Montague. Anglum looking to Slav. Slav into the corner to Lindquist. Lindquist driving the baseline. Has it knocked out. J-Van. Good! Vikings take a 1-point lead.
Nice control of the ball by J-Van for a big guy. There was some pressure on him, and he did a nice job. Another steal here by Carl Wade.
Carl Wade.
Can't
With the
convert.
rebound this time. But the Vikings are really playing tenacious defense right now. Lindquist from outside. Over the top. Slav knocks it away and picked up by Carl Wade. Nice pass.
Carl Wade did a super job, made a very nice pass to set that up. Excellent play. Yes, he did. I think he's got about 12 or 14 on the year. I think maybe Carl Wade may have just picked up his 4th foul. I hope. No, it was on Carter Heisman. I thought maybe Carl had gotten a reach in there. So.
Team foul.
In this second half, you know, the Vikings have come out and played some real smart basketball so far, and the Wildcats, on the other hand, something we haven't seen as a Wildcat fan. We've got a little bit the jitters, and just have not handled the pressure well, have not done the things that they've needed to do.
Anglem for 2. Anglem's been just so important for our strategy. Weber. 35-34 Montague. 1-point lead again for the Wildcats. Inside it goes. Rock behind.
J-Van Ross right now, I think he realizes this could be his last half of basketball. He doesn't want that to be. I just hope that he can stay as far as, not getting too tired, but he is really exploding right now.
There you see punting it. Back position on Schlaf. Caught it with the return pass. Loses it. Wade. Carl Wade. Anglem. 3-point lead for Whitehall. I believe that's the biggest lead of the contest for the Vikings.
I think so, Larry.
They were ahead by 1 several times, but I think in this case, a 3-point lead is their biggest.
Right, and again, not taking care of the ball. It's cost the Wildcats.
Wildcats having some real difficulty now controlling the basketball. Baseline offense. Lindquist. Into the paint for Webb. Up. Goal! Charles Ross was glad. I didn't see him come in, but he obviously did.
Right, he came in for Carter Heisman here just a few minutes ago.
By Webb.
I didn't see what happened there. I know J-Van wasn't really happy about it, but evidently I think he may have gotten an elbow back there too far or something, working for a position. He's got to calm down here though and get his mind back on the ball game.
And that's his 3rd. So both Potter for the Wildcats and J-Van for the Vikings have 3 personals. Lindquist trying to work against the Viking pressure defense. Gets it across. Up to Tate, who's come in for Webb. Potter from the outside, back to Lindquist. 40-37. Montague down by 3. Inside to Schneider. Up. Away jump shot by Mark Schneider.
Well, they got to have somebody come to the forefront like Mark to take that scoring load, and he did the job exactly what he was supposed to do.
1-point difference again with 2:58 remaining in the quarter. Off the glass is Wade. Connor with the rebound. Lindquist forward. Lindquist working on Xavier Wade from just outside. Short. Connor with the rebound.
Matt Cotter did a nice job there. Jason didn't box out real strongly. Matt did a nice job of getting inside and drawing the foul on Jason Cassette. I'm sorry, that was on Carl Wade, which was his 4th foul. That hurt.
Real critical factor, Dennis, for the Viking fans. Played a real important contributor to the offensive scoring and an excellent defensive player as well.
Right. Right now, somebody's got to step forward. One of our guards has got to come in and fill in because, as you said, Carl is a real key factor Montague here.
We're going to have a timeout on the floor called by the Vikings. 40-39, they have the lead with 3:44 remaining. And we're going to take a brief timeout as well in the booth here as we go down court to once again see what some of the White Lake area fans think about tonight's game. And this interview will be conducted by Roger Finland with Mr. Steve Wisniewski. It's all yours.
With me on the floor is Super Wildcat fan, Steve Wisniewski. Steve, of course, partial owner, I believe, of Home TV, or full owner of Home TV Service Tronics over in Whitehall, a longtime advertiser on our station, but more importantly, someone that has come to a lot of our basketball games over the last 2 years. Steve, how does it feel to be part of this crowd tonight, and what kind of feelings do you have? What do you expect out of the ball game?
Well, we thought we'd be able to get here at 6:30 and there'd be lots of room. We drove in here 40 minutes before the game, and this place is completely full. You can definitely tell there's a lot of excitement here tonight, that's for sure. Well, I expect Montague to win, of course. It'll be tough, but Montague's going to win. There's no doubt.
Well, of course, they've had an excellent season. And what thing have you enjoyed the most about watching these kids over the last 3-4 years?
They have improved drastically. I mean, it's so much fun to watch them start off in the JV and come on up through, and you're going, yep, those are the guys. Boy, they've got to get it together to get to the varsity team, and every year they do it, and it's just fantastic.
Well, it's been a lot of fun for us, and we thank you for being a fan and being here every night to support them. Thank you very much.
There you have it. Another viewpoint from the floor. Conducted pre-game. You can see the stands filling up rapidly as we conducted that interview on the court. If you're another organization tonight, you don't want to have a meeting. Almost all the White Lake area people are right here. Well, that's not true, of course, but a whole bunch of them are.
I'll tell you, you can tell exactly what kind of, how big this game was, or is, I should say. I left NBC school about 10 after 6 tonight, and the cars are parked all the way down to the tennis courts. Around the corner on Crook, yeah, I'll tell you what, the people came out to see their teams tonight, and they've been, you know, treated to an excellent, excellent show so far.
Absolutely correct. Potter, this is the first of a two-shot situation. Still has a chance to pull the Cats into a tie at 40-all. It's hard to believe, Jeff, and he does. Hard to believe, but I left here about 10 after 5 after having helped a little bit on the closed circuit TV. And there were already people here waiting in line to get their tickets when I left.
I believe it.
40-40. They have officials time out on the floor as something has been spotted on the outside of the court.
Looked like a coin. Those are the types of things that I hope doesn't need to continue. That just, you know, it can be really hazardous to one of the players out there.
Exactly correct. 40-all. Jason Cassette from the far corner. Carter Heitzman. Heitzman working against Snyder. Cassette knocked out of bounds. Montague ball is knocked out by J. Van Raw. 3:16 in the third quarter. It's been a rather low-scoring quarter so far, Jeff. Vikings were down by 1, 31-30. And now it's 40-all. Spin move by Eric Webb. Back to Schneider from 3.
That speeds up the scoring pace real quick when you hit those threes. Here's another 3 attempt.
From way outside. Inside, however, is the basket by
Charles Ross, and Charles just getting good position. Did a real nice job on that.
I think we're going to have a foul on that last play as well. I think Matt Potter fouled Ross on the way up. A little bit of a delay in my seat in that foul, but that is the call.
And with that,
has his fourth.
yeah, I was going to say, with that, Matt picked up his fourth. Charles Ross did an excellent job. By far, I believe, the smallest player on the court, but he just held his ground and went straight up for that ball and then took it right back up to the hoop, and good things happen.
Jeff, the key you made earlier, a key comment, it may come come down as far as this game. We've got some people in some foul trouble, and I think it could come down to the depth in the benches and who's going to be able to come through as far as that's concerned.
I think exactly what it's going to come down to, right?
Ross ties it up again. Lindquist across the timeline from Schneider. Lindquist riding the baseline. Up. Over the top. Not quite there tonight. It's not Lindquist thus far.
Xavier Wade has to come through here as far as handling at that point guard, and so far he's doing a nice job. Did a nice job of saving that ball right there.
I think it might have been deflected. There's another deflection. That comes up with the steal. Pulls up, knocks it short. Schneider saves it. Beautiful save by Mark Schneider on the inside. Lindquist finished. Well, up. No good off the right side of the rim. 2 minutes and 2 seconds left in the quarter, and we're all lining up at 43. Well, we said beforehand, Tennessee was supposed to have said beforehand that the game was going to be a tight one all the way to the finish. Jeff, you reminisced about last contest here, and that too was a tight one.
Well, you listen to some people and say, well, what about the first game? Well, throw that out. And I think even throw out the second game. These two teams have battled throughout the year. This is a whole different season. This is what it's about. This is a chance to advance. One team is going to tomorrow put their uniforms away for another year, and one team gets to play Saturday night against the Tigers from Shelby. So I don't think you can look at past games at all. This is for all the marbles here tonight. And so I think right down the wire it's going to be very, very close.
We're having trouble at the line. Can't get us in front. We're going to have a carry there. And Charles backs it down a little bit and it's far for that carry.
I think he slipped a little bit and just enough that got an extra little step in there. An excellent call by the official.
1:46 remaining in the quarter. Back from the paint. Rolls over the top again. Lindquist to the back in for Webb. Excuse me.
Yes, you're right.
Schneider on the inside. Fouled by Charles Ross this time. And Charles Ross has had about a 40-second stretch here that he'd probably like to just forget about, but he's hustling. You know, we've talked about errors of commission versus omission, and Charles Ross is certainly committing some errors at this point in time. Not errors in judgment, just errors in hustle.
That's right, Larry. He does. He's been a scrapper out there, and he's what we call one of those plus-minus players. He's going to make some mistakes out there, but he makes things happen, some positive things happen, and that's the type of thing that we needed during the end of the season, a spark like that. And I tell you, Charles has really provided us with that.
Absolutely correct. And I want to correct the statement I made a while ago. I said errors of hustle. That meant that he is hustling. I didn't say that's what I meant to say, okay?
I think people that have watched Charles Ross know exactly what you mean, because Charles Ross is always hustling, always working, and he always has been, as far as I've ever seen any of the games he's played at any level. Just an excellent, excellent team player and a hard worker.
Well, I think we have 10 players on the court at any one time who all hustle well.
They fit that bill pretty well, don't they?
Xavier did a nice job getting to the baseline and got the ball in the hole.
Lindquist across to Schneider. Over the top. Foul number 5 on David Rose. Dave is on the stands over there. He can't play foul.
Right, he probably felt that as much as Matt did. Matt tried to get over there, just couldn't quite get there in time, made some contact. So Schneider's going to line here for 2, I believe.
And there's a case, I think Mark would have taken one more dribble. He could have taken a little bit stronger to the hoop, and he got bumped, threw a shot off a little bit, and he's got a chance to put 2 down and put the Wildcats up by 2 again.
A set coming in for J. Van Ross. 54 seconds left in the third quarter. We should mention that was named, sorry, there I did it again. Matt DeRose is third person. Mark puts the Wildcats up by 1, 46-45. Mark with one more attempt. Good. Xavier Wade against Webb. Cassette. I'm really impressed by Jason Cassette, how well he handles that ball. Steal by Schneider. He's on the line. Actually, Cassette that time by Mark Schneider. Almost in the same location where he stole it last time.
Exactly right. That's what I was thinking right there. Mark just kind of set back there and did a real nice job of knocking that ball away.
47-45. 40 seconds left in the third quarter. Schwab with the pick up of that errant pass. Schwab. Webb, Lindquist from 3. Go! Off the side of the rim to 7 rebound. They're good in the third quarter. With a score remaining. Montague Wildcats 50. No, Vikings 47.
You know, I think there were two big keys that happened at the end there. The Wildcats had a run there where they got 5, and they got up by 5 with about 15 seconds left in the quarter. And the Vikings could have really panicked at that point, but Xavier Wade, a sophomore, brought the ball up and took his time and took it down here and took the good shot and got 2. Didn't go for the 3, didn't really panic and just throw one up, but got the good shot, and they're only down by 3 going in the 4th, and that's a real good sign for the Vikings.
There's no doubt that basket there really helped. I think now this fourth quarter is going to, a lot may come down just to the conditioning of these two ball clubs, because for 3 quarters they have really scrapped and hustled, and it may come down to just who has the most gas.
Good observation, Dennis. Well, we have 8 minutes left in the season for someone. Dennis, of course, hopes that the Wildcats are in that category. Jeff and I, on the other hand, are perhaps hoping it's the Wildcats.
No, we're not hoping. Just like Denny, he really wants the Vikings.
That's true, you're right for sure. Wildcats with the first possession of the quarter. Webb, too hard off the back of the rim. J. Van Ross with an important rebound. Jason Cassette to the inside. Stolen by Schwab and Webb. Webb coming back. Webb with a nice inside move. Getting to Lindquist.
Nice job by Carter Heisman.
Cassette. I think that's his first basket tonight, but what an important one.
I think so, yes it was.
50-49, 7:23. Inside to Schneider. Schneider with the inside move. Has a foul call on Cassette as he puts the ball up.
Jason allowed him to get between, in that position in the paint, and definitely got himself in some trouble on that one.
Schneider's having a really good contest for the Wildcats, Jeff. As usual, of course, but he's had some important moves in the paint area, and then he's converted to the line.
Well, we're not getting some of the production from some of the players that have, been our leaders in that department this year so far. And Mark, as you said, has stepped right up and taken that over and just done a superb job.
The set. All the way across. Xavier Wade now. Setting up the Vikings as they trail by 3. 7:02 remaining in the fourth quarter. The game and the season for someone. Russ Longpore. Looking inside. Wildcats good defense on the inside that time. Xavier Wade over to Kyler Heitzman. Heitzman over the top. Vikings fight for the rebound. Mark Schneider controls the ball and off the leg of Kyler Heitzman.
Smart move by Mark Schneider there. Got himself cornered a little bit and just hit the ball off of Carter's leg and got it back.
Real heads-up play by Mark Schneider that time. Eric Webb listening to Coach State as they set up the high stack offense. Back to Lindquist. stolen by the Vikings. Well, now it's almost stolen again. Lindquist from the outside. Off the glass, no good. Wow, nice rebound.
That was just a great effort on Doug's part there, and getting that rebound. And of course, we had nothing to do but to foul him. Hopefully, he wouldn't make the shot, but he did that, and a chance to go to the line for a three-point.
You know, when big plays have to be made, big people usually step up the line and make them. Both on the Viking side and the Wildcat side, that's happened over and over tonight.
Tyler Heisman puts it in play, trailing by 6. Connor back in the Wildcats, by the way, fans. Wade. From the corner to Heitzman. Heitzman back to Wade. Wagenborg from 3. That's the 3-point.
Russ needed that, and he is, with his injury, has not had that touch, but there he had it back together at a real key time for us.
Well, he's got 2 3-point buckets here in the fourth quarter. Four-quarter offense now called by Coach Tate. Back to Connor. Wagenborg with the three-pointer for the Vikings. Lindquist for the Wildcats. Strider, Lindquist. 5:20 remaining in the fourth quarter. Connor from the side. Wildcats, 57-52. That's the way to make your heart stop off that four-quarter offense, Jeff.
I think it's one of those that Coach Tate's probably going, no, yeah, great.
That's right. Jay Barrett off the floor around. Knocks it back out. Cassette to the baseline.
Real nice move by Jason.
57-54 with 4 minutes and 50 ticks left on the clock. I'm not sure I can stand 4 minutes and 50 seconds of this. Wait.
Got a 3-on-1 here. The pass from Wade. I think we've got a foul.
Broke the basket. The foul is going to be on Lindquist or Connor. It's Lindquist. Lindquist with his fourth personal. 4:30 exactly remaining. Heitzman with a chance to make it a 1-point difference.
Once again, Carl Wade's passing made that possible. And Carter did a nice job of filling that lane too. So let's see if he can convert.
With every shot.
As are we.
That's right. Eric Webb.
That's right. Well, that's what you have to do. When they don't guard you, you have to make sure you're right there to go after the basket.
Away from the outside. This is on the three-point attempt, and Connor was right there for the inside rebound.
That was a good shot by Carl. He was 3-point range, but he was wide open, and Carl can put those down.
Lindquist got himself trapped low, threw the ball away, and it's taken by Carl Wade. Nice inside pass.
Matt Tyler, I believe, was out.
Well, I think they would have called it good now. It looked like it was going to be called good at first, but it is.
No, Eric Webb, I believe, got that one. I think that was a lucky call for the Wildcats.
Well, I'm not sure.
They did not count the basket.
No, Eric Webb was the second.
I guess the underneath official was signaling that the back or the foul was at that spot. He definitely signaled with his hand, but the spot of the foul was a call. 59-55.
Nice lob by Jason Cassette to make that possible for Jay.
Eric Webb to the paint, outside the shot. Oh, good. Vikings have a chance to tie it up and go ahead. 59-57 with 3 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the season. For someone.
start on that and got that pivot foot up before he got the ball down on the floor.
Well, we have a timeout on the floor called by the Wildcats with 3:09 remaining with a 2-point lead. And once again, guys, we're going to go down to courtside for an interview again. This time we're going to go to Athletic Director John Heisinger of the Whitehall Vikings. Let's see what Mr. Heisinger had to say about tonight's contest.
With me now is a living legend in the area, John Heisinger. John, longtime teacher, coach, and now athletic director over at Whitehall. Here, well before the ball game started, volunteered to help me out with crowd control tonight, what I appreciate. But John, what's your perspective on this rivalry on the game, and what do you think is going to happen here in this gym tonight?
Okay, this is just a great one, Roger. It's been a few years since this has happened. I don't know, 5-6 where it's a packed house. It'll be a turn away before it's done. The things I think of people in our area don't appreciate, and I've just come back from Michigan High School Athletic Association meeting, and they've talked about sportsmanship, how really good it is in this area. You know, we really work at it, both schools work at it, and our conference works at it. But I think our people in our conference should be complimented on that, first of all. The game tonight should just be a dandy, one way or the other. I'm sure Montague's a little bit favored going in, but it's district tournament time, so anything can happen. So it's just really exciting. And I hope the people get a chance to watch both teams on the floor and the respect they have for each other. It's not the coaches. The kids have respect for each other and like each other, and that's very important, and that's exciting to me.
Well, I was just amazed after our last regular season game where Montague won by 4, but the kids were out there hugging each other on the floor after. I happened to see the film, and it was just, that's what athletics are all about. And I'll tell you what, both athletes from both schools are really to be complimented on that, John, and that's due to the hard work that, well, yeah, we all put in on this.
And we work at it too. It just doesn't come naturally, and we always want it better. And you know, we're never comfortable with it. We always want it better, and sometimes we even had time enjoying the kids out on the floor because we're worried about other things. But it's still great to see, and our communities should be proud of their kids and their young people.
Well, John, thanks for being with me, and good luck tonight. I hope we both play well.
Good luck to you.
Thanks, John.
There you have it, the perspective on lots of things from Mr. Heisinger.
John Heisinger does a fantastic job as our athletic director.
John's been there a long time. Excellent coach. That's the kind of people like to have working with these kids. Well, I don't know, Jeff. My voice might not hold out for 2 minutes and 9 seconds. 59-57. We know there's going to be lots of voices a little hoarse around here tonight.
I was going to say, I think there's going to be a lot of voices that are probably going to give way before this one's over. You know, nobody really is taking command of this, although the Wildcats have held the lead here pretty much throughout. You just are never sure because our Vikings just keep on coming back.
You notice the diamond press defense that time on the part of the Vikings. Over to Webb, inside to Cotter. Cotter up. Good after that. We've seen Matt do that many times throughout the season. It's very impressive this year. Kyle Wade now with the ball. Russ Longport into J. Van Ross. Done. Almost. He could have, but I got a little carried away there, Jeff. 61-59. Lindquist. Throws it away. J. Van Ross picks it up again. Wade. No good. Longport from outside now. Picked by Schleider. The Wildcats have had some key turnovers here late in the contest and have kept the Vikings in.
Both teams very aggressive again, and kind of looks like that first minute or two of the game right now. Both teams realizing only about 2 minutes to go, just adding that little extra here, and I'll tell you, it's definitely going to go down the wire here, I think.
I think you're right. That it's been that way the whole contest. We think something's going to fall apart at this point. Well, fans, I think we'll take one more break with 2 minutes and 13 seconds to go and go down to the courtside. This time we're going to have a little perspective from the past, a little history here, as we have interviews from 2 players, one from the Vikings, one from the Wildcats, Randy Lindquist and Matt Scott. Back to you, Roger.
Well, here I am courtside with Randy Lindquist. I'm sure all White Lake area fans recognize him This year we at Montague have talked about this team being our quad squad. It's the 4th league championship in a row, and they're going for their 4th consecutive district title. Here's a guy that helped launch all that in the tradition of Montague basketball. Randy, you're at college now and 3 years removed from this, but how does it feel to be back? What do you think of tonight's game, and how did it feel when you played in the big Whitehall Montague game?
Montague Whitehall is just incredible every year. I mean, look around and you see the fans. I mean, it's 30 minutes till game time and the place is packed. I was worried about getting in already. And it's just, the rivalry is great and it's friendly. It's the nice thing about it, you know. Even though we're at each other's throat for 4 periods, we're still friends across the river and all. So I think this is the best game of basketball that I've ever, you know, been involved with. Starting it all, I don't know. It's nice to think about that, and I mean, but I guess every year is separate, and these guys earn every bit of the respect they get, and so the year before that, and so do we, I guess. But it's nice knowing that, you know, this is the 4th year we've had it.
Well, Randy, I'll tell you what, there are a lot of little kids in the stands that still look up to you and emulate you as a hero, and you're a fine young man, and that's even more important than being a fine basketball player. And, you know, those are the kinds of heroes kids need, and you're a good one. Thanks for being with us, Randy.
Appreciate that.
With us courtside at this time is Matt Scott, Whitehall varsity player, graduated in 1990. Is that right, Matt?
That's right.
What do you think about the rivalry between Montague and Whitehall? When you were a player on the varsity squad, did this game mean something special to you as a varsity player?
It was always the best game of the year, and you always geared towards it. And usually we only played them twice because we were either A, B, or in a different district in the tournaments. At least my 2 years as varsity. But the 2 games during a regular year were always the most important games of the year, bar none.
Well, I think that's the feeling on the part of Montague High School varsity players as well. Matt, what draws you back now that you're a graduate of Whitehall High School? What draws you back to the games?
The excitement. I know it's going to be there because I played in about 4 of their games, and I'm not going to college far away. I'm just going to MCC, so I mean I can make it to most of their games.
Okay, what's your prediction for tonight, Matt? Obviously the Vikings are going to win. Is it going to be an easy game?
No, it's never an easy game. I can't remember the last time Whitehall's ever really blown Montague away, and I think Whitehall by 2.
Whitehall by 2. There you have it, folks. Direct from an ex-varsity player from Whitehall, Matt Scott. Thanks for joining us tonight, Matt. Good luck. Well, there you have it. 2 graduates in the White Lake area. Matt Scott said it well. The excitement that you know is going to be here, whether you're a spectator or a player. It's just an event for the White Lake area every year. 2 minutes and 13 seconds remaining. 61-59 Montague. Vikings have to be getting a little tired out there, Jeff.
Well, we are, but the mind is, you know, right in the thing, and you keep on telling yourself you're not going to get tired. You're not going to let that happen. And
Carl Wade made a nice move to the basket to tie the game at 61 here.
Back Connor, back out to Slack. 61-0. Under 2 minutes now. Under 2 minutes. Every fight for the ball could be the season right here. Lindquist on top, right at line. Longboard. Lindquist driving toward the paint. Over to Connor, back out to Webb. 61-0. We got a minute and 35 remaining in the contest. Webb, up there. Beautiful move. Holloway, Longboard from 3, no. Wade from 3, no. Connor with the rebound. Lindquist with the ball. Webb 15 remaining. Corner called by Coach Tate.
and here's where the Wildcats really have to take care of the ball.
Out to Connor, back to Lindquist. 1 minute in the season for someone. Schlaff, back to Webb.
You don't want Carl to make the foul right now. Well, we thought that was a pretty nice steal. Xavier got called for the foul. That's a smart foul at that time, even though I think he thought it was a clean steal. We needed to foul it sometime pretty quickly there.
Good point, Coach Griffin going to take a timeout to make Eric Club think a little bit more about this free throw. Cats up by 2, 63-61. And if you're a Wildcat fan, you want to know that Webb is shooting 67, almost 68% from the charity stripe for the season. From the Viking perspective, however, 67% isn't bad, but 67% is probably who you want to have at the line compared to the 80s that we also have on the court.
Because Wildcats do have some excellent free throw shooters. Now, though, with the situation, definitely a lot of pressure, either an 85% shooter or a 65% shooter at this point.
Yes, let's go for a minute. The score is 63-61. The Wildcats are 10 points below their season scoring average. They have about a 73-point average. The Vikings are at a 66, almost 67% clip. So both teams have been playing good defense on one another this evening. We've noted that throughout the contest. The offense, as a result, has suffered.
Yeah, it really hasn't been a great offensive display out here tonight. There's been some sloppy play on the offensive end, but a lot of that, as you said, is attributed to the defensive play by both teams.
Very good on the first of two. Real critical time here for the Cats. Had to keep 2 possessions in 48 seconds. Xavier Way coming across. Highway. Kyle driving against Webb. Shot is up. But once it's done, it's done. 65-64 on 39 seconds remaining.
Tough break there at that particular time, but we still got to hang in there, play some good defense now, and see what happens here. Tell you what, I was really impressed with Webb. He didn't even think about those 2 free throws, just got the ball and put them up. A lot of times that's the best thing to do.
Well, we had a disappointing loss to Shelby, but I can remember Eric Webb stepping up to the line and taking some important details in the first quarter, and that contest was in the game, at least. So we'll have another chance.
I think Carl Wade has just fouled out. Carl played another real fine ball game.
I'll tell you, not only a fine game, but a fine young man, a class act, and you know, it's too bad in his last ball game he fouls out, but you know, that's the way he plays basketball. He gives you every little thing he's got, and I'll tell you, you know, he should be very proud of the way he's represented his school and represented himself out there tonight.
Right, a real gentleman in every aspect.
Really nice article about Carl Wade in the last White Lake Beacon, and Whitehall can certainly be proud of kids like Carl Wade. Webb, this time he can't make it, and so the Vikings find new life. Descent with 30 seconds.
Of course, I shouldn't have said Carl Wade's last game because the game's not over. I certainly didn't mean that.
I thought about that, but I knew he didn't mean it that way. Shot. Right out on the floor. Midcourt in return of the Cats ball. 65-61 is the score in favor of the Montague team. I don't know what to say, gentlemen. I'm lost for words. My wife wanted to say that.
I don't believe that.
Now, at this time, I think, you know, we talk about the players being not only physically but emotionally drained. I think probably everybody in this gym, including ourselves, are really at that point right now. But it has been a fantastic basketball game, that's for sure, which is what we expected. And that's certainly what the players and the coaches have given us. And both teams are really to be commended, that's for sure.
Well, just take a minute here to remind folks again that tomorrow morning's volleyball action at New Wago High School, Montague versus Shelby, and Leesville volleyball tournament action. Game time, 10 a.m. We encourage everybody to come out and support those Wildcats. Everything goes well. I'm going to be there, and I'd like to see some of the White Lake crowd there as well. Knocked out of bounds by efforts on the floor.
Evidently, the one official thought that it hit maybe Eric or whoever was taking it out of bounds. Whitehall will get it.
29 seconds to go, 65-61. And we're not out of it yet, say the Vikings. Coach Griffin urging his troops, go, he's saying. J-Man, Jason Cassett picks it up with 18 seconds left. Cassett, J-Man lost with foul on Webb as he brought back to the basket. J-Man made sure that Eric Webb did not make that layup. He'll have a 2-shot to go, but not intentional.
But I don't believe it was intentional by any means.
They just went up hard to try to block it. That's all that he could do at that point. It's one of those that I know the fans thinking one thing, but he had to keep them from making the basket. If they would have been cutting him under or something like that, would have been another thing. But
Well, let's get it to live with 11 seconds left.
Well, he may only be a 67% shooter from the line, but Eric Webb always seems to come up big at the right
He
times.
certainly does. Eric Webb is just a clutch player. 6-point lead now. Stolen by Lindquist, and up to Webb again. Webb has it knocked out of bounds. Montague ball with 2 seconds remaining in the contest. Cassett knocks the ball away on the shot.
what I liked about that was Jason went hard, got the ball, and even both the guys patting each other. This is what it's all about.
Honor dribbling outside of it. 67-61. What excitement on the court. Enthusiasm exploding on the court as the Wildcats know they're dancing into their own District 83 tournament finals. 7:30, please note the time, 7:30 Saturday evening right here at Montague High School. Oh, there's a disappointing loss for the Vikings. We knew that it was going to be difficult, especially since this is the third time that we had to feature Vikings during this season.
Right.
They did an excellent job and have to be proud of their record for the entire year.
Right, Whitehall had a fantastic season. I'm certainly very proud of them, and I know everybody else is too. They played hard, and as I said, it was the type of game we thought it would be, and it came down to the wire. Montague did some things to cause us to make some mistakes, and that was the difference. And I certainly want to commend and congratulate the Vikings and your program for sure, because they are a real fine ball club, and I just wish them the best of luck as they go into the district finals and hopefully further out along the state.
Thank you, Dennis. We appreciate those words. From the Wildcat side, Jeff, the Wildcats have to be very excited, but, you know, we heard the fans chanting at the end of the game, we want Shelby or Shelby, and certainly that's who we're going to play. But if you've seen the Shelby Tigers on Montague High School's floor this week, you know that they're a scoring machine, an absolute scoring machine. 97 points against Scottville, 97-84, I believe, was that contest. Last night here, that was Wednesday night, they beat the Astoria Panthers 82-38, I believe. So the Wildcats know that the Shelby Tigers, in the last 2 contests at least, were way above even the Wildcats' seasonal average, and that's not going to be any easy task either.
First of all, in this tournament, this go-around, there's not much time to rest. You got to come right back, and you got to go on pretty much what you've done against them during the regular year. And I'm sure that Coach Tate and Coach Sloth have watched them the last 2 nights and seen what they've done. But you know, the Vikings gave us a real tough time tonight. You know, made us, I think, offensively not look very good at times. And the Shelby Tigers are going to come at us the same way on Saturday night. And they're going to want to end that string, just as the Vikings did tonight, want to end that string. So the Wildcats really have to be up for the game. And I think against the Shelby Tigers, they're going to have to play a better offensive game than they did tonight. As I said, give the Vikings all the credit in the world. They just played their hearts out, and you know, who knows? So a break here, a break there, this game could be turned around. But as it is, the Wildcats move on to face the Tigers, and we know the Tigers can put the ball in the hole. And our job now is to play that good aggressive defense that we've done all year long to stop that and get our offense back on track.
Well, let's look forward here a little bit, Dennis. Though, of course, the Viking fans are disappointed, as are the team members. With a strong record like you've had, some underclassmen coming back, including one sophomore and several juniors, a junior varsity squad that I believe had at least 9 or 10 wins this season. White Lake basketball on the Whitehall side of the river is going to continue strong for some time to come.
I think so. It's going to be difficult. I want to just mention as far as the seniors that we have, definitely not only their talent on the floor and their leadership ability also, that's going to be a part of it. We're going to have a couple of people come forward. You get the Jay Rosses and Carl Waynes and Jason Cassettes who've been in the program and really some of the top players in the league, if not this entire area. That's going to be the part where we're going to have some gentlemen make a commitment because there's some big shoes to fill there, but they certainly have the ability to do so. And hopefully next year, come about in November, they're going to be ready to go at it again. I'm sure they will.
In that same vein, we have lots of other talent coming up in the league too. We know that the Wildcats themselves and the JV squad were 14-6. We have some juniors on our bench as well. But we know as well that the Mason County Central Spartans, the team that beat us at Scottsville last week, had a 17-3 record for the season on their junior varsity squad. So it's not going to be a cakewalk for anybody in the West Michigan Conference next year. And we can look forward to a well-balanced league competition once again, I think, Jeff.
Along those same lines, Denny was talking, I think that the Vikings are going to have people step forward and take leadership roles. So are the Wildcats next year. As we lose 5 of our top people in our program, and although we have some people coming back, we have to have people come up from that JV squad and really contribute. But as you also said, we've got some strong programs that are, I think, looking at the White Lake area and seeing how we're doing things, and really working also to emulate what we're doing here. And so it's going to be a tough struggle down the road, as I see as many as 5 or 6 teams next year really pushing for that top spot.
Well, gentlemen, I think that'll just about wrap it up from the booth at Montague High School. Before we sign off, I want to just take one more time to thank C-Tech Cable TV, Channel 5's, Steve Jones and the crew for the effort that they put out on our behalf throughout the season, not just during the tournaments, but of course throughout the entire athletic season here at Montague High School. Thanks to Roger Finland, who just puts on a Class Act tournament for all the teams. We didn't mention anything about that on the air from here tonight. I mentioned it in a pregame interview before the contest. But I don't know, are you aware, Dennis, that each of the players in the contest, not just tonight, but every contest, get a pin, they get a personal letter from Mr. Finland, a shirt, just good things that are happening. A hospitality room that's provided by Mr. Finland and staff here for players, officials, etc. And I think that whether you win or lose at Montague High School in a tournament, you feel satisfied that you've been treated fairly well.
Right, yes, I'm very aware of that, and I think it's just needed. And that's something that seems like a very little thing, but I tell you what, players, whether they come out of here winners on the scoreboard or not, they remember those types of things about Montague coming in here, and I know he had done that in some of the other tournaments too. And that's something that I think Raj needs to really be commended for, because it's the little things that make the difference, and he has certainly done a nice job of that.
Well, self-esteem, we all talk about being a very important factor in anyone's life. The kids have to feel good about the way they are treated here, and Mr. Finland is just an excellent person to put those kind of plans into action. Well, I'm not sure we're going to have a post-game interview. We'll go down and see whether we're going to get anybody coming out of the locker rooms or not. I'm not just sure, fans. But if not, we thank you for joining us and remind you again the final score tonight, Montague 67, Whitehall 61. Montague enters final district tournament action Saturday night, Montague High School, 7:30. We invite you to join us in person for that contest, but we remind you as well that we will be on the air Sunday night with Larry Lindquist, along with
Denny Love
and
Jeff Peterson,
saying good night from Montague High School.